when the snow lay round the house, deep and crisp and even, brightly shone the moon that night.
J5 and 6 right here.
When a poor man came inside, gathering winter fuel. Stand by me if you know it, tell me. Yonder peasant, who is he? Where and what is dwelling?
For he lives a good maintenance underneath the mountain. Right against the forest fence, my St. Agnes Mountain.
Bring me food and bring me wine, bring me fine lots hither. You and I will see him dine when we bear them thither. Page and monarch, forth they went together. Through the cold winds, lament, and the bitter weather.
Silent night is darker now, and the wind blows stronger. Fills my heart, I know not how I can go no longer.
Mark my footsteps, my good page, tread now in them boldly. You shall find the winter's rage, freeze your blood less coldly. In his master's steps he trod, where the snow lay dinted. He was in the very sod which the saint had printed. Therefore, Christian men, be sure, while God's gifts possessing, you now will bless the whole. Show yourselves by
Marley was dead to begin with, and there can be absolutely no doubt whatsoever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clerk, by the clergy, by the undertaker, by the chief mourner. Why, Ebenezer Scrooge himself even signed it. And Scrooge's name is good upon the exchange for anything he sets his hand to. Jacob Marley was dead as a doornail. Now, this must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come from the story we're about to relate. Did Ebenezer Scrooge know he was dead? Why, of course he did. How could it be otherwise? Scrooge and Marley had been partners for goodness knows how long. Scrooge never even painted over Marley's name on the sign that hung above the warehouse doors. Scrooge and Marley. That was the name of the firm. Scrooge and Marley. People who were new to the business sometimes called Scrooge Scrooge and sometimes Marley. But the answer to both was all the same to him. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, that Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, clutching, grasping, scraping, covetous old sinner, cold and hard as flint. External temperatures had little influence on Scrooge. No warmth could warm him, nor wintry weather chill him. And no one ever stopped Scrooge on the street to say with gladsome looks, "My dear Scrooge, how are you? When will you come to see me?" No beggar ever implored him to bestow a trifle. No child ever asked him what it was o'clock. And not once in all of Scrooge's life did man nor woman inquire of him the way to such and such a place. But what did Scrooge care? It was rather what he liked, to edge his way along the crowded paths of life, daring all human sympathy to keep its distance. Well, once upon a time, of all the good days of the year, on Christmas Eve, Ebenezer Scrooge sat working in the counting house. It was cold, bleak, biting weather, foggy withal. The fog poured in every chink and keyhole. Scrooge worked in an open room so he could keep an eye on his clerk, who sat at his own dismal desk copying letters. They had a small fire, so small it appeared to be but a single coal, and the clerk couldn't replenish it, for Scrooge kept the coal bin on his side.
Cratchit, I predict it will be necessary for you to part my service if you continue to find the need to waste my coal.
Sorry, sir.
Wherefore the clerk tightened his scarf and tried to warm himself about the candle, but not being a man of strong imagination, he failed.
Merry Christmas, Bob Cratchit!
Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas, Uncle! God save you!
Bah, humbug.
Christmas a humbug? You don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. What right have you to be married? You're 40 enough.
What right have you to be so dismal? You're rich enough.
Bah, humbug.
Don't be angry, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this? Out upon a Merry Christmas. Why, what's Christmas time to you anyway, but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself 1 year older and not an hour's richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with a Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
Uncle!
Nephew, you keep Christmas in your way, and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good may it do you, much good it has ever done you.
There are many things from which I might have derived good from, by which I have not profited. Christmas among the rest of them. But I've always thought of Christmas time as a good time, when both men and women seem to by one consent to open up their shut-up hearts freely, and to think of people below them as if they were fellow passengers to the grave. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I say it has done me good, will do me good, and I say God bless it.
Let me hear another sound from you, Cratchit, and you'll be keeping your Christmas by losing your situation. You're quite the public speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go into Parliament.
Oh, don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
I'll see you in hell first.
But why?
Why did you get married?
Because I fell in love.
Because you fell in love. Be on your way.
Nay, Uncle, you never came to see me before I was married, so why give it as reason now?
Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you, I ask nothing of you. Why cannot we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry to find you so resolute, but I will keep my Christmas humor to the last. So a Merry Christmas, Uncle,
Bah!
and a Happy New Year.
Humbug!
If I have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley.
Mr. Marley has been dead for 7 years. He died 7 years ago this very night. Not that it's any of your business.
But we have no doubt his liberality is well represented in his surviving partner.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, we find it more than usually desirable we make some slight provision for the poor and destitute, who suffer greatly at the present time. Many thousands are in want of common comfort, sir. Hundreds of thousands in want of common necessaries.
Are there no prisons?
Prisons? Oh, plenty of prisons, sir, plenty.
And the union workhouses, are they still in operation?
Of course they are, sir, but I wish I could say they were not.
And the poor law and the treadmill are in full vigor then?
Well, yes, sir.
Oh, well, I was afraid from what you said at first that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course.
A few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth. We choose this time of all others when want is keenly felt. What shall we put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to remain anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. Since you asked me what I wish for, gentlemen, that is my answer. I don't make myself merry at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry either. I help support the establishments that I've mentioned. They cost enough. Those who are badly off must go there.
But, sir, many can't go there and many would rather die than go there.
If they would rather die, then they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Besides, that is not my business.
But, sir, you can make it your business.
It is enough for a man to understand his own business and not interfere in the business of others. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
But, sir, it's only a...
Good afternoon.
Scrooge resumed his labours with a higher opinion of himself, and in a more facetious temper than was usual even for him. Meanwhile, outside, the fog and the darkness thickened, so much so that the ancient tower of an old church, whose gruff bell peered slyly down at Scrooge out of a Gothic window in the wall, became invisible. It struck its hours and its quarters in the clouds, and at length the time of shutting up the counting house had arrived.
Cratchit, it's time. Well, what are you just standing there for? Out with it.
Well, tomorrow is Christmas Day, sir.
I know. You must have the whole day off, I suppose.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It is not convenient, nor is it fair. If I was to stop you half a crown for it, you'd find yourself ill-used, I'll be bound. Yet you don't find me ill-used for paying a day's wage without any work.
It is only once a year, sir.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th day of December. But I suppose you must have the whole day. Be here all the earlier the next morning.
Humbug!
my way.
Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Scrooge took his melancholy dinner at his usual melancholy tavern, and having read all the local newspapers, beguiled the rest of the evening with his banker's books. Then he went home to bed. Scrooge lived in chambers that once belonged to his deceased partner, Jacob Marley. It was a gloomy suite of rooms in a lowering pile of a building up a yard. A yard that this night was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew its every stone, was fain to grope about with his hands. Now, it's a fact. There was nothing particular about the knocker on the door, except that it was rather large. And it should be borne in mind that Scrooge had not paid a single thought to his 7 years dead partner since earlier that afternoon. Yet, when Scrooge put the key to the lock on the door, he saw in that knocker, without it undergoing any process of change, not a knocker, but the face of Jacob Marley.
Humbug! Humbug!
Closing at that door sounded through the house like thunder. Up the stairs Scrooge went, not caring a button for the darkness. For darkness is cheap, and Scrooge liked cheap. He went from room to room to be sure that all was as it should be. For he had just enough recollection of that face in the knocker to desire to do so. Sitting room, sleeping room, lumber room, all as they should be. Nobody under the sofa, nobody under the table, nobody under the bed, nobody in the closet. Feeling quite secure, he closed the door and locked himself in, which was not his usual custom. But feeling thus safe from surprise, in his nightcap, his dressing gown, and his slippers, he sat before the fire to take his evening gruel.
Humbug! It's humbug! If it's humbug still, I won't believe it. No! Oh no! What do you want of me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Can't you sit down?
I can.
We'll do it then.
You don't believe in me.
I do not.
Why do you doubt your own senses?
Well, because a little thing can affect them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. Why, you may be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, or a fragment of an underdone potato. There's more of gravy than grave about you, whatever you are. You see this toothpick?
I do,
Well, you're not looking at
but
it.
I see it notwithstanding.
Well, I have but to swallow this toothpick and be for the rest of my days persecuted by a legion of goblins. Humbug, I say, humbug! Mercy,
dreadful apparition, why do you trouble me?
Man of worldly mind, do you believe in me or not?
I do, I must, but why do spirits walk the earth and come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him shall walk abroad among his fellow men and travel far and wide. And if that spirit go forth not in life, it is condemned to do so. After death, I am doomed to wander the earth and witness what I cannot share. But my shed on earth and turn to happiness.
You are fettered, tell me why.
I wear the chain. I forged in life. I made it leak by leak and yard by yard. I made it of my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it. Is its pattern strange to you, or would you not know of the weight and length of the strong coil you bear yourself, Ebenezer? It was as long, as heavy, as these 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
Oh, Jacob. Tell me more. Speak comfort to me, Jacob.
I have none to give.
Oh,
It comes from other regions, Ebenezer, and it's conveyed to other ministers, to other kinds of men.
do you travel fast?
On the wings of the wind.
You might have got over a great quantity of ground in 7 years.
Oh, captive! Bound in double honor! Not to know that no space of regret can make amends for one's life's opportunities misused. Yet such was I! Oh, such was I!
But, Jacob, you're always a good man of business.
Business. Business? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a small drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. And at this rolling time of year, I suffer most! Hear me. My time is nearly gone.
I will, but don't be hard upon me. Don't be flowery, Jacob, pray.
I am here tonight to warn you that you have a chance of escaping my fate, Ebenezer. A chance and hope of procuring.
Oh, you're always a good friend to me, Jacob. Thank ye.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance you mentioned?
It is.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow night when the bell tolls 1.
But can't I just take them all at once and have it over with?
Expect the second upon the next night at the same hour. Expect the third upon the next night when the chimes of 12 have ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more, but look, for your own sake, you remember what has passed between us.
Humbug! Oh!
Whether from the emotions he had undergone, the fatigues of the day, his glimpse into an invisible world, dull conversations with ghosts, or merely the lateness of the hour, much in need of repose, Ebenezer Scrooge fell asleep on the instant.
1 o'clock. Why, it was past 2 when I went to bed. The clock is wrong. There must be an icicle in the works. 1 o'clock. It isn't possible that something happened to the sun and this is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It isn't possible that I've slept through a whole day and far into another night. Polly's ghost. It was all a dream. Was it a dream or not? Or a bunch of hooey? Oh! Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
Forgive me, but the light, can you not put your cap on to cover it?
What? Would you so soon put out with worldly hands the light I give?
I'm sorry, I did not mean to offend. Might I ask what purpose brings you here?
Your welfare.
Well, I'm much obliged, but I can't help but think that a night of unbroken rest would be much more conducive to my welfare.
Your reclamation, then. Take heed. Come and fly with me.
But, Spirit, I'm mortal and liable to fall.
Bear but the touch of my hand, and you shall be upheld.
Why, I was born in this place. I was a boy here.
Your lip is trembling. What is that upon your cheek?
'Tis nothing, Spirit, pray. Lead me where you will.
You remember the way?
Remember it? Why, I could walk it blindfolded.
Strange to have forgotten it for so many years.
Why, all my old friends are there. Tompkins and Wells and Massey and Hathaway. Yo, Hathaway, Hathaway.
These are but shadows of things that have been. They have no consciousness of us. They all seem rather jovial.
Jovial? Well, of course they're off for Christmas holiday. Merry Christmas, Manus. Manus, a Merry Christmas.
The school is not yet deserted. I see a solitary child, neglected by his friends, left there still.
Oh, I know. Oh, my poor forgotten self. Oh, why, I'm reading Ali Baba. Dear old honest Ali Baba. Yes, I know. I remember one Christmas when this solitary child was left here all alone. His books became his only friends. Valentine and his brother Orson, Robinson Crusoe. I remember them all. I wish. Oh, but it's too late.
What is the matter?
There was a boy at my business door last night singing a carol. I should have liked to have given him something, that is all.
Let us see another Christmas. Ebenezer! Oh, Ebenezer's dear brother.
Fan,
I've come to take you home, dear brother. To take you home.
home, little Fan?
Oh, yes, home. Good and all. Forever and ever. Father is so much kinder than he once was. It's like heaven. Why, he spoke so sweetly to me one dear night that I wasn't afraid to ask once more if you might come home. And he said, yes, you should. And he sent me in the coach to bring you. You're to become a man and go into business. And never to come back here. Oh, but first we're to be together all Christmas long and have the merriest time in the world.
You are
She had a large, giving heart.
That she had spirit, I'll not gainsay it.
She died as a woman, and had, as I think, children.
Yes, one child.
True. Your nephew, Fred.
Yes.
Behold that Ebenezer, Richard.
Why, it's old Fezziwig. Bless his heart, it's Fezziwig alive again, and Richard Wilkins to be sure. Bless me, yes. Why, he was very much attached to me, was Richard. Poor Richard, dear Richard.
Go home, my boys. No more work tonight. It's Christmas Eve, Richard. Christmas, Ebenezer. Now, up with the shutters before you can say, Bob's your uncle. Hello, Richard. Hello. Ebenezer, cheer up. It's food and fun for all. Richard, Ebenezer, I am most disappointed in you two. You did not have near enough fun this evening. Oh, tut tut, not another word. But to ensure you'll have sufficient fun tomorrow, you must take this. Now off with you two. Good night and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Oh, what a night!
The cold roasts, the pies, the beer.
Oh, I don't think there's a good man in all London as Fezziwig.
In all England.
I dare say, in all the world. Bless old Fezziwig.
Fezziwig has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money. 3 or 4, perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?
It isn't that, Spirit. He had the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, a pleasure or a toil. Say that his power lies in words and looks and in things so small and insignificant that it would be impossible to out-account them up. What then? Yet the happiness that he gives is quite as great as if it cost a fortune.
What is the matter?
'Tis nothing.
Something, I think.
I should like to have a word or two with my clerk just now, that is all.
Quick, my time grows short.
It matters little, Ebenezer. Another idol has displaced you.
Well, what idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
This is the even-headed dealings of the world. There's nothing on it so hard as poverty.
You fear the world too much. All your other hopes have merged into the hope of being beyond the chance of its reproach. I have seen your nobler aspirations fall off, one by one, until the master passes you and engrosses you.
What then? Even if I have grown so much wiser, what then? I am not changed towards you. Am I?
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so. You are changed. When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
Your own feeling tells you that you were not what you are now. I am. That which promised happiness when we were one in heart is fraught with misery now that we are two. How often and keenly have I thought of this? I will not say. It is enough that I have thought of it and can release you.
Have I ever sought release?
In words, no. Never.
What then?
In a changed nature, in an altered spirit, in another atmosphere of life. Another hope is its great end. In everything that we may love of any worth or value in yourselves. If our promise had never been between us, Tell me, would you seek me out and try it with me now?
You think not?
I would gladly think otherwise if I could, heaven knows. But I have learned a truth like this. I know how strong and irresistible it must be. But if you were free, today, tomorrow, yesterday, can I even believe that you would choose a dowerless girl? You, who in your very confidence pleasure weigh everything by giving or choosing her. If for a moment your one guiding principle to do so, do I not know that your repentance and regret would surely follow? I do, and I release you with a full heart from the love of him you once were. You may have pain in this, a very, very brief time. You must dismiss the recollection of it gladly as an unprofitable dream from which you luckily awoke. May you be happy in the life you've chosen.
Belle! Belle!
Belle, go after her, you fool! Oh, Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home. Why do you delight to torture me?
One shadow more.
No more. I don't wish to see it. Show me no more. Oh, Belle.
And her family.
Oh, Spirit, no. Such a sweet, graceful girl, so full of promise. Oh, the thought that she could have been my child. A springtime in the haggard winter of my life.
Belle, my darling.
My dear! Hello, Papa!
Oh, my dearest. How's my little sweetie doing? Don't tell Mother. All right, my little one. Go now, look down and take baby brother to bed. Tonight is Christmas Eve after all.
Yes, Papa.
Belle, I saw an old friend of yours this afternoon.
Why, who was it?
Guess.
Let me think. How can I? Was it Mr. Scrooge?
Ebenezer Scrooge it was! I passed by his office window and it was not shut up, and there was a candle inside, and I could scarcely help seeing it. His partner lies at the point of death, I hear, and that he sat alone. Quite alone in the world, I'm afraid.
Alone in the world, my dear old Ebenezer.
Oh, remove me. Take me back. Leave me. Haunt me no more.
Ebenezer Scrooge, I come for your reclamation. Would you put out with worldly hands the light I give?
No more. No more. No more.
The ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You have never seen the likes of me before?
Never.
Have you never gone forth with any of my elder brothers, born in these latter years?
I'm afraid I have not, Spirit. Have you many brothers?
Oh, more than 1,800.
A tremendous family to provide for. Spirit, I went forth last night on compulsion and learnt a lesson which is working now. If you have aught to teach me, let me profit by it.
Come, touch my robe.
Sweet bread. Would you like some bread? Your money. Scrooge and the Spirit found themselves on a busy city street on Christmas morning. The skies were gloomy, and the streets were choked with a dingy mist of soot, as if all the chimneys in all of Great Britain had by one consent caught fire. And yet, it was an air of cheerfulness abroad. The people were jovial and full of glee and calling out to one another. The poulterers' shops were still half open, and the fruiterers were radiant in their glory. It was a glorious scene, to be sure. There was the merry sound of scales descending,
and the scent of tea and coffee and sticks of cinnamon and candied fruit cakes spotted with lumps of molten sugar. The customers were hurried, yet so eager in the promise of the coming day.
Spirit, is there a particular flavor in what you sprinkle from your torch?
There is. My own.
Sit here. Watch where you're going.
What do you want you doing, you long-nosed weasel?
Weasel is it? Why, you floppy-eared baboon.
No.
Why, on.
Spirit, there!
Well, wait. Why are we fighting on this glorious Christmas morning?
You're right, my friend. Too ashamed to quarrel on this, of all days.
So it is, so it is.
God bless you, friend. God bless you.
And to you, sir. And a Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas. And a prosperous New Year.
We handled that well, Spirit, did we not?
We? Come, Scrooge. We have much to do and see.
Mother, the figures, they seem cute. Yes, Mother, and such a wondrous goose basking in St. Germain's.
All right, my dear crafty children, settle yourselves down. Come help me with this table. Wherever is your precious father and your brother Tiny Tim? Even Martha wasn't late last Christmas Day by half an hour.
Oh, here's Martha, Mother. Oh, Martha, there's such a goose at the bakery.
Oh, such a goose, you say. Merry Christmas, Ella dear. Merry Christmas, Peter. And a Merry Christmas, Mother.
Merry Christmas, dear. Lord bless thee. How late you are.
We had a great deal of work to finish up last night. Had to clear away this morning, Mother.
Well, never mind, so long as you've come. Sit yourself down before the fire and have a warm. Lord bless you.
Look, there's Father coming. Hide, Martha, hide. Yes, hide, Martha.
Christmas Day.
Hello, dear.
Why, hello. Why, where's Martha?
Oh, she's not coming.
Not coming. Not coming on Christmas Day.
Oh, Father. Oh, Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Martha.
All right, children, time to wash up. Ellen, Peter, help Tim.
But I don't need any, Mother.
And now this can be removed to something.
As good as gold and better. He gets so thoughtful sitting there by himself, he thinks the strangest things you ever heard. Why, today he said he hoped the people at church saw him because he was a cripple. He thought it might be nice for them on Christmas Day to remember who it was that made lame men walk and blind men see.
Ellen, Peter, go to the door. I believe it's the baker with the goose.
Such a bustle ensued, you'd have thought a goose to be the rarest of all birds. There was never such a goose. Why, Bob Cratchit said there was never such a goose cooked. Its size, its flavor, its tenderness, its cheapness were all themes of universal admiration. And eked out with the applesauce and potatoes, it was a sufficient meal for the entire family.
We thank thee for this Christmas Day and for its meaning. May we be truly grateful for what we are about to partake, and may it bring us nourishment. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Their plates were filled and their bellies the same. Then Mrs. Cratchit arose to go out and take up the Christmas pudding. All but Mrs. Cratchit returned, flushed but smiling proudly with the pudding, like a speckled cannonball topped with a sprig of Christmas holly. And what a pudding it was! Why, everyone had something to say about it, but no one said or thought that it was a small pudding for such a large family. At last, the dinner was done, and Bob Cratchit poured out the hot punch from the jug. He served it up with beaming looks, while chestnuts on the fire sputtered and crackled noisily.
A toast, a Merry Christmas to us, and God bless us. Merry Christmas.
Pray, Spirit, tell me, will Tiny Tim live?
I see a vacant seat in this far chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these events remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
Oh, no, good Spirit, say he will be spared.
If these events remain unaltered, none of my kind shall find him here. What then? If he be like to die, you'd better do it, and decrease the surplus population. Oh man, if man you being hard, forbear that wicked cant until you have discovered what the surplus is and where it is. We decide what man shall live, what man shall die. Oh, it may be in the sight of heaven that you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions, like this poor man's child.
And Mr. Scrooge, I give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of this feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I'd like to have him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I'd hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
Oh, my dear, the children, and it is Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day, I'm sure, when one drinks to such an odious, hard, stingy, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. Nobody knows it better than you do.
My dear, please.
All right. I'll drink to his health, for your sake, and for the day's, but not for his. A long life to him, a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
It was getting darker now, and snowing pretty heavy. Scrooge and the Spirit moved along the city street. Brightness from fires in kitchens and parlors and such rooms was truly wonderful. And if you were to judge by the number of people scurrying about on the street on their way to friendly gatherings, you'd have thought there'd be no one to give them welcome when they arrived. Blessings on it, how that ghost exulted. But then, no word, no warning from the ghost, Scrooge found himself standing on a bleak, deserted moor, with massive crude stones strewn about as though it were the burial place of giants. They passed over the moor and headed out to sea. To his horror, looking back, Scrooge could see the last of the land. Built upon a sunken reef of dismal rocks, a league or more from the shore, stood a lighthouse. And the men who watched the lighthouse had built a fire. Standing round it, they joined hands and they wished one another a Merry Christmas. And they were off again, over the black and heaving waves, farther and farther out to sea, until they alighted upon a ship. And they stood beside the helmsman at the wheel. And they watched as every man on board hummed a Christmas tune, or spoke to his companion under his breath of some bygone Christmas memory. And then laughter lighted up the night, and in a flash, Scrooge was spirited away by laughter from another place to the home of his nephew Fred.
I said Christmas was a humbug as I live. He believed it too.
Poor shame for
fellow, and not as pleasant as he might be. But his offenses carry their own punishment, and I have nothing to say against him.
I'm sure he's very rich. At least, you're always telling me so, Fred.
What of it, my dear? He doesn't any good with it. He doesn't make himself comfortable with it. He hasn't even the hope of ever hoping that he's ever going to benefit us with it.
Well, I have no patience with him.
Oh, I have. I am very sorry for him. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. Who suffers by his ill whims? Himself. He takes it into his mind to dislike us and won't come and dine with us. What's the consequence? Well, he doesn't lose much of a dinner.
Very good dinner.
What say you, Thomas?
Well, I'm a bachelor, a wretched outcast, and I have no right to an opinion on this matter.
Oh, do go on, Fred. He never manages to finish what he begins to say. You'd be such a ridiculous fellow.
What I was going to say, the consequences of his taking a dislike to us and not making merry with us is, as I think, that he loses some tender moments, which could do him no harm. I mean to give him the same chance every year. He may rail at Christmas till he dies, but he can't help thinking better of it. I defy him. If he finds me going there year after year saying, Uncle Scrooge, how are you? If it only puts him in the vein to leave his poor clerk £50, then that's something. And I think I shook him yesterday.
The old goose.
Hey, speaking of goose, why don't we sing a song? How about Christmas is coming?
Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny, a halfpenny will do. If you haven't got a halfpenny, then what good are you?
Oh, I do love that old tune. Maybe a game, Fred. How about a game?
What's it to be?
Come, Scrooge, we must go.
Wait, Spirit, they're about to play a game. 1 half hour more, only one.
Do you all know the rules for yes and no?
Well, yes. And no.
All right. I have something in mind. Who will begin?
I'll go. Is it a vegetable?
No.
Is it a mineral?
No.
Oh, it's an animal. Oh, yes, an animal. Right. Is it alive?
Yes.
Is it a nice animal?
No.
Does it live in a menagerie?
No.
But does it live in London?
Yes.
Is it killed at market?
Oh, heavens, no.
Oh, is it a horse?
Nay. No, it is not a dog. Not a dog.
Is it a cat?
No.
Is it a bear?
No, you're not even close, not even close.
I found it! I know what it is! I know what it is, Fred!
What is it, my dear?
It's your Uncle Scrooge!
You're right, you guessed it!
Fred, I object. When I said, is it a bear? You were obliged to answer yes.
Well, he has given us plenty of merriment, I'm sure. And it would be ungrateful not to drink to his health. Uncle Scrooge!
Uncle Scrooge!
A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man, whatever he is. He wouldn't have it from me, but may he have it nevertheless. Uncle Scrooge.
Uncle Scrooge!
Come, Scrooge, we must go.
Spirit, you're growing grey and wrinkled, aren't you? Spirit's life's so short.
My life upon this globe is very brief. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight. Hark, the time is near.
Forgive me, Spirit, but I see something odd at the base of your robe.
Look, man, what do you see?
I see two children, a small boy and a girl. Oh, Spirit, they're wretched, frightful souls. Are they yours?
They are man's. The boy is ignorance. The girl is want. Beware them both. But most of all, beware this boy. For on his brow I see written that which is doom. Unless this writing be erased, deny it, slander them that tell the yea, and bide the end.
But, Spirit, have they no refuge or recourse?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
No, Spirit, no.
The poor law and the treadmill are in full vigor.
No, no, no. Oh. Am I in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come? Oh. Oh. Ghost of the future. You were about to show me shadows of things that have not happened, but that will happen in the time before us. Is that so? Oh, Spectre, I fear you more than anyone other than I have seen. Yet as I know your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to live, to be a better man from what I was, I am prepared to bear your presence and do it with a thankful heart. Will you not speak to me? Very well, Spirit. The night is waning fast and the time is precious to me, I know. Lead on.
No, I don't know much about it either way. All that I know is that he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
Why? What was the matter with him? I thought he'd never die.
Heaven knows, heaven knows.
What do you suppose he's done with all of his money?
I haven't heard. Left it to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know.
It's bound to be a very cheap funeral, for the life of me. I can't think of anybody to go with it. Say, suppose we make up a party and volunteer.
I don't mind going, as long as I'm fed. But lunch must be provided.
Well, I'm the most disinterested among the rest of you. After all, I never wear black gloves. And I never eat lunch. But I'll offer to go if anybody else will.
Well, let's off then.
Spirit, I know these men, all of them. And strange, but I don't see myself at my usual place at the exchange.
You about? Oh, there you are. Listen, I brought Mrs. Dubin here and, the undertaker's man, and, well, we haven't all three met here without meaning it.
Well, couldn't have picked a better place to meet. We're all equal to our calling here, right?
Yes, well, what odds and ends then, Mrs. Dilbin? Everyone has a right to take care of themselves. He always did.
That's true indeed. No man more so.
Well then, don't be staring about as if you were afraid. We haven't come to pick each other's pockets now, have we?
Indeed not, no.
No, indeed.
Well, let's on with it then. Who's the worst for the loss of a few things like these? Not a dead man, I suppose.
It's the truest word that was ever spoken. It's a judgment on him.
Right, so. Who's gonna go first?
I wish it were a little heavier. Well, let's have a look. A seal. And a pencil case. And a pair of sleeve buttons. And a brooch. Very nice. Well, there's nothing of much value there. There you go, and not a penny more.
Here you are, old Joe.
Let's see what we've got. Got some sheets, some towels, some shirts.
And there's fine linens there.
Yes, yes. Oh, and a silver teaspoon, silver sugar tongs. Very nice. Very nice. Always gives too much to the ladies. It's gonna be the death of me.
Oh.
What? One more word and I'll repent of being so liberal, and I'll knock off half a crown.
Filthy, horrible, stinky old man. Can't believe you take a penny to the bank. Okay.
Well, here we are, Joe. Here's my bundle.
All right, let's have a look. So, what have we got here?
Bed curtains.
Bed curtains. You don't mean you don't mean you don't mean to say you took these down, rings and all, with him lying there?
Yes. And what of it?
I think it's disgusting.
Here now, mind them, they're blankets.
Blankets? His blankets?
Well, yes. Who else? He's not likely to catch cold without them now, is he?
What? You don't suppose he died of anything catching, do you?
You mean something what you haven't already caught? No, I wasn't so fond of him as I would have hung about for the likes of this, if he had. Now, let's settle up, Joe. What's my account?
Well, it's a fine account, my dear. A fine account indeed. There you go.
Ah, well, that's it then, isn't it? He frightened us all away while he was alive, and he'd profit from him now that he's dead. Muscly old skinflint he was.
Spirit, I see the case of this unhappy man might be my own. My life tends that way now. Merciful heaven, is there any person in the town who feels emotion caused by this man's death? If so, show that person to me now, I beseech you.
What's the news? Is it good or bad?
Bad.
How are you guys doing, Ben?
Oh no, there's hope yet, Caroline.
If you relent, there is. Nothing is past hope if such a miracle has happened.
He's past relenting. He's dead.
Dead, you say? To whom will our debt be transferred?
Well, I don't know. But by then we'll have the money. And even if we don't, why, it would be bad fortune indeed to find so merciless a creditor as his successor. Oh no, we'll be fine, Carol. Come.
Spirit, show me some tenderness connected with death, or that dark chamber we left just now will be forever present to me.
And he took a child and he put him in the midst of them. Mother, what is it?
Oh, nothing, dear. This close work just hurts my eyes. 'Tis better now. The candlelight makes them weak, and I wouldn't show weak eyes to your father when he gets home for anything in the world. Should be near his time.
Past it, rather. I think he's been walking a little bit slow these last weeks.
Yes, I've known him to walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulders very fast indeed.
And so have I. So have I.
But he was very light to carry, and your father father so loved him, it was no trouble. No trouble. There is your father now. Dear, you're late today. You went there again, Robert.
Yes. I'm sorry you couldn't come. It would do you good to see how green a place it is. But we'll go there often enough. I promised them we'd go again there this Sunday.
Oh, Robert, my dear Robert.
You know, I saw Mr. Scrooge's nephew today. He saw that I looked downhearted and he inquired what had happened to distress me so. On which I told him. And he said, I'm heartily sorry to hear it, Mr. Cratchit, and I'm heartily sorry for your dear wife. And then he took out his card and he said, this is where I live. Pray, come see me. Now, it wasn't so much for anything he might be able to do for us, as in his kind way that this was such a delight. It was as if he knew our Tiny Tim and felt with us.
I'm sure he's a good soul.
Oh, you'd be sure of it if you saw and spoke with him. I wouldn't be surprised if he got Peter here a better situation.
Only hear that, Peter.
And then Peter would be keeping company with someone else and setting up for himself. Get along with you, Ellen.
It's just as likely as not one of these days. But however, and whenever we part, I'm sure that none of us will forget Tiny Tim in this, the first parting that there was among us.
Never.
And I'm sure that when we remember Tiny Tim, and how patient and mild he was, even though he was such a little child, we shall not quarrel easily amongst ourselves and forget him in doing so.
No, Father. No, never, Father.
No, Robert. We will never, ever forget.
And I'm happy. So very happy.
Spectre, something informs me that our parting moment is at hand. I know it, but I know not how. Tell me about the dead man talked about at old Joe's. Before I draw near to the stone to which you point, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of things that will be, or the shadows of things that may be only? Men's courses will foreshadow certain ends to which, if persevered, they must lead. But if the courses be departed from, the ends will change. Say it is thus with what you show me. Am I the man of whom they spoke? No, Spirit, no. Hear me. I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I must have been but for this intervention. Why show me all this if I am past all hope? Oh, good Spirit, your nature intercedes for me and pities me. Oh, assure me that I may change the shadows you have shown me by an altered life. Oh, I will honor Christmas in my heart, and I shall try to keep it on the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons they teach. Oh, tell me that I may smudge away writings on the stone. No, no, good Spirit, do not forsake me, I beseech you. Oh, Jacob Marley, heaven in the Christmas time be praised for it, old Jacob. I say it on my knees, on my knees. Look, they are not torn down. They are here. I am here. Oh, the shadows of things that might have been may be dispelled. I know they will. Oh, I don't know what to do. I am as light as a feather. I am as happy as an angel. I am as merry as a schoolboy. Oh. And I am as giddy as a drunken man. Oh. Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy New Year to all the world. Why, there's the door by which the ghost of Jacob Marley entered. And there's where the ghost of Christmas past appeared. It's all right. It's all true. It's all happened. I don't know what day of the month it is. I don't know how long I've been amongst the spirits. I don't know anything. I'm quite a baby. Never mind. I'd rather be a baby. Oh, no fog, no mist, just clear, bright, jovial, stirring cold, golden sunlight, heavenly skies, sweet fresh air, merry bells, oh, glorious, glorious. Oh, boy.
Sir?
What day is it today?
Day is it?
Oh, what a remarkable child, a wonderful child. Yes, what is today, my fine fellow?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day. The spirits have done it all in one night. Well, of course they can. They can do anything they like. Boy, do you know the poulterer's shop in the next street over, the one at the corner?
I should hope I do.
Oh, a delightful boy, an intelligent boy. It's a pleasure to talk to him. Do you know how they sold the prize turkey that was hanging there? Not the little prize turkey, but the big one.
The one as big as me?
Oh, what a wonderful boy. Yes, that's the one.
It's hanging there now.
Is it? Go and buy it.
Go on with it.
No, I am in earnest. Go and buy it. Have the man bring it back here that I may give them the directions of where to take it. Come back with the man and I shall give you a shilling. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown. Oh, look at him run. Why, I shall send it to Bob Cratchit. He shan't know who sent it. Why, it's twice the size of Tiny Tim. Boy. Oh, there you are. Back as a flash. Oh, good morning, sir. Oh, and good morning to you as well. My goodness, but look at the size of that turkey. Why, he never could have stood upon those legs, that bird. Why, he would have snapped them off in a moment. You must have a cow to take that to Camden Town. Thank you, sir. Oh, and here's the address of where to take it. A little extra for you, my fine sir. Thank you. And my lad, did I say half a crown? Nay, a full crown for such prompt industry.
Thank you, and a Merry Christmas, sir.
And a Merry Christmas to you, my boy. And once more to you, my good sir.
Oh, Merry Christmas, sir. Merry Christmas.
Oh. Good morning, gentlemen. I thank you for coming by my place of business yesterday. I trust you were successful in your endeavors.
Why, Mr. Scrooge?
Well, that is my name, and I fear it may not be pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon, and will you do me the goodness of letting me contribute?
Heavens be!
My dear Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?
I am, gentlemen, and not a farthing less. There's a good many back payments included in it, I assure you. Will you come and see me?
Well, I don't know what to say to such a...
Don't say anything, please. Just come and see me, I beg of you.
But of course we will, sir. Thank you, sir.
Oh, and I thank you 50 times, gentlemen. Bless you. Merry Christmas.
I don't know what Scrooge has been putting in his eggnog.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as that good old city ever knew. Old people laughed to see the alterations in him, but he let them laugh. His own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. He made his way to the home of his nephew Fred, where he was received with surprise and affection. All was forgiven, and a standing Christmas dinner date was made for years to come. In the afternoon, he pressed his way through the crowds, patting the heads of little children as he went towards the humble home of his employee, Bob Cratchit. He stood outside the Cratchit house and peered in the window and watched as the family gathered about the table, making ready to partake of the fine bird he'd sent them. Smiling happily, he knocked upon the door.
Cratchit, I did not see you at the office today.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. I was with my family and I was under the impression that I had the day off.
You did?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. It shan't happen again. See, I was here with my family and we were making merry, and I must have...
I am not going to stand for this sort of thing any longer, Cratchit. And therefore, I am going to raise your salary.
What? Are you quite well, sir?
Oh, I've never been better, Bob, my good fellow. I will raise your salary, and I shall endeavor to assist your struggling family, and we shall discuss your affairs this very evening over a bowl of smoking bishop after you have finished your Christmas dinner. And tomorrow morning, before you start up the fires, I shall buy another coal scuttle before you can dot another eye, Bob Cratchit.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Won't you join us, Mr.
Oh,
Scrooge?
Mrs. Cratchit, thank you. Oh, thank you. A Merry Christmas to you and yours, Bob Cratchit.
Merry Christmas to you, sir, and God bless us, everyone.
staff here at Pierre's Playhouse and the city of Victor, we'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight, and we hope you enjoyed our rendition of A Christmas Carol, written by Charles Dickens in 1843. We wish you and your family a sincerely Merry Christmas and the happiest of New Years. We hope you'll take a moment to ponder the reason for the season and remember the immortal words of Tiny Tim. God bless us, everyone.